At the beginning of the story, a boy was narrating that one morning in Tokyo, at Heisei Private High School, in the school where he attended, there was an idol, and they were in the same class. Through this narration, it was revealed that the boy's name was Rintarou Shidou-kun, a second-year student at Heisei High School. Suddenly, someone indicated that it was the next page and called Miss Otosaki. Otosaki responded affirmatively, and she was shown to be beautiful. Rintaro stated that her name was Rei Otosaki. Rei Otosaki then began reading the book, and while looking at Rei Otosaki, Rintaro described her as having beautiful blonde hair due to her mixed foreign blood and a well-defined style unlike that of a normal high school student. The other students were listening to Rei Otosaki with happiness, and Rintaro stated that she had unparalleled looks and voice. After Rei Otosaki completed her reading, the teacher praised her by saying that she had done well, and everyone cheered. Rei Otosaki expressed her thanks. Rintaro thought that it was no exaggeration to say that all the students were her fans. Rintaro also thought that, as for himself, he was not really interested in celebrities, and that he was looking at this from the standpoint of neither a fan nor an antagonist. Some students were then shown asking Rei Otosaki for her autograph, and one girl said that she had seen Rei Otosaki's new video and that her new song was really nice. Without any expression, Rei Otosaki responded with thanks. Rintaro thought that unlike in front of the camera, Rei Otosaki was usually cool even when she was surrounded by everyone, and that it was hard to tell what she was thinking. Rei Otosaki then looked at someone and asked them to please subscribe. The scene shifted, and Yukio spoke about how Rei Otosaki was as popular as ever. Rintaro responded that Molesta was also going strong, that the number of views of their new song was amazing, and that comments from foreign countries were increasing too. Rei Otosaki thought that now was a good time to talk to her. Rintaro then explained that Yukio Inaba was his best friend and that Yukio Inaba was often mistaken for a girl, but that Yukio Inaba was a boy. Rei Otosaki asked Rintaro whether Rintaro had another part-time job that day. With a smile, Rintaro replied that it was only temporary and that since they were paying him more per hour, it was great. It was then revealed that Rintaro, for a guy who said his goal was not to work, was actually pretty busy, and that this was because Sensei had become a hot topic. Sensei was introduced as a manga artist and Rintaro's cousin. Sensei was shown writing a script, thinking that apparently the amount of manuscripts had increased and that her assistant could not keep up, including tone artist and background writer work. In the present, with a glowing smile, Rintaro thought that he just had to make money now for a reason and that his goal had not changed. While clutching his fist, Rintaro thought that in the future he would find a woman who would work hard for him. Rintaro was then shown cooking while saying welcome back and telling someone to go ahead and take a bath. Rintaro thought that he was going to be a house husband. While looking at the sky, Rintaro stated that he had always had a firm life goal of being a stay-at-home husband and that he did not want a life of just working all the time. Yukio, with a smile while looking at Rintaro, stated that Rintaro was very determined about this, but that Rintaro did not have a partner. After hearing this, Rintaro's face became dull. Suddenly, someone told them to get to work. Rei Otosaki was then shown sitting in the classroom, and while looking at Rei Otosaki, Rintaro thought that she had such a beautiful face and was an idol. Rintaro wondered whether Rei Otosaki had any difficulties or concerns, and whether there was even such a thing. Rintaro then expressed thanks for the hard work. The scene shifted to Rintaro's cousin's flat, where Rintaro was standing at the door with a bag of energy drinks in his hand. Rintaro expressed thanks for the hard work and said that he had brought the energy drink for Yuzuki-sensei. With an excited smile, Yuzuki-sensei thanked Rintaro enthusiastically and immediately started drinking the energy drink. Rintaro asked Yuzuki-sensei how long Yuzuki-sensei had been awake, and Yuzuki-sensei replied that it had only been 2 nights. With a worried face, Rintaro stated that this was not okay. Rintaro then put on earphones and said that he would go work on it. While looking at the scripts, Rintaro thought that it was a beautiful manuscript and that he could see why Yuzuki-sensei insisted on using analog. Rintaro began working, and after completing the work, Rintaro put the scripts into a drawer. Yuzuki-sensei then told Rintaro that Rintaro could go. While putting on his shoes, Rintaro asked how much more he could do. Yuzuki-sensei responded that there were no worries and that thanks to Rintaro, she was on track. Rintaro acknowledged this and said that he would be leaving. Suddenly, Yuzuki-sensei thanked Rintaro for always helping her out. With a smile on his face, Rintaro said that he was always ready to help her again. While leaving, Rintaro stated that he would be looking forward to the magazine. Yuzuki-sensei responded confidently with a thumbs up and said to leave it to her. The scene shifted to a dark sky where Rintaro was on a train. An announcement stated that the next stop was Nishikubo. Rintaro was then shown leaving the station while thinking that it was getting late. Rintaro noticed a luxury car on the road and thought that he did not know there were people driving luxury cars like that around there. Suddenly, a foot came out from the car, and Rintaro saw a girl stepping out. While looking at her, Rintaro thought about the heisei uniform and blonde hair. When Rintaro saw her face, Rintaro realized that it was obviously Rei Otosaki. Rintaro then thought that it seemed he had run into Rei Otosaki on her way home from work and realized that Rei Otosaki lived in the neighborhood. While looking around, Rintaro thought that no one around had noticed and that it was probably best not to get involved. Rintaro thought that he could not take responsibility if he greeted Rei Otosaki and got photographed by a weekly magazine, so Rintaro decided to just pass by and pretend not to notice. Rintaro started walking without looking at Rei Otosaki. Suddenly, Rintaro looked at Rei Otosaki with wide eyes and thought that something was wrong. Rintaro then saw Rei Otosaki slip on the road and begin to fall. Rintaro shouted a warning and grabbed Rei Otosaki, asking whether Rei Otosaki was okay. Rintaro thought that he could not help but hold Rei Otosaki in place. Rei Otosaki reacted in pain, and Rintaro called out her name in shock. Rei Otosaki then looked at Rintaro with her left eye and recognized Rintaro. Rintaro was shocked and thought about whether Rei Otosaki had just said his name. Trying to act casual, Rintaro commented on the coincidence and asked whether Rei Otosaki was okay, stating that Rei Otosaki had scared him when she collapsed. Rei Otosaki suddenly reacted again in pain, and with fear, Rintaro wondered what was wrong and whether an ambulance should be called. Rei Otosaki then looked at Rintaro and, while holding her stomach, stated that her stomach was empty. Rintaro reacted with surprise and confusion. Rintaro suddenly thought that Otosaki was hungry, and questioned himself whether she had said she was hungry. Otosaki was sleeping while leaning on Rintaro's arm as Rintaro said that he had been really worried about her. Otosaki reacted by saying that it was terrible. Rintaro, wearing a strange smile, apologized and explained that he had been afraid she was not feeling well, so he had acted that way. Suddenly, Rintaro's expression changed to anger, and he stated that he guessed he should treat her normally now. He then shouted at Otosaki, asking whether she was that hungry and whether that was all it took for her to be unable to move, adding that it was normal. After a pause, Otosaki remarked that she had not known Shidou-kun could talk like that. Rintaro brushed it off and told her to never mind that, instead asking her to explain why. Otosaki responded that today's lesson had been special, with recording and interviews, and that their schedule had been packed down to the minute, forcing her to push herself and endure it. Rintaro acknowledged this, thinking that it was to be expected of a top idol. With that realization, Rintaro suggested that they get something to eat. At that moment, people around them began gossiping, questioning what was going on and noting that they were high school students. Rintaro realized the situation and thought that it was getting noisy and that it was only a matter of time before they figured out that she was Rei Otosaki. He concluded that he did not feel comfortable leaving an idol there and reminded himself that she was his classmate, after all. Rintaro asked Otosaki if she would be able to move as long as she ate. Crossing his arms and thinking deeply, Rintaro then grabbed Otosaki's bags and offered her a helping hand, telling her to bear with it if she felt uncomfortable. He suggested that she get on, explaining that he would make her dinner at his place if she liked, and that if she did not want to, he would leave her at the nearest diner. He then asked which one she wanted. Otosaki, shocked, stood up weakly. Rintaro lifted her onto his shoulder and started moving. Otosaki expressed interest in Shidou-kun's cooking. While walking, Rintaro agreed and asked whether pork in the fridge that expired today would be okay. Otosaki replied that it would be fine. She then suddenly pointed her finger and energetically declared that they should go. Rintaro, perplexed, questioned why she was in charge. The scene shifted to Rintaro's flat. Upon entering, Otosaki asked whether he lived alone. Rintaro confirmed it, saying it was a long story. He set her down on the couch and noticed her shoes, telling her to hold on while he took them off. Otosaki thanked him softly and soon fell asleep on the couch. Rintaro turned on the television and told her to watch TV and wait for him. She responded sleepily. After some time, Rintaro returned and said that he was pretty sure he was going to use pork and asked what she wanted to eat. Otosaki requested shogayaki. Rintaro reacted that he had not expected her to like it. Otosaki replied that she had liked it since she was a kid. Rintaro apologized that the rice was from a retort pack and asked if she could wait until it was cooked, thanking her for her concern. Holding a knife, he stated that he would make the shoga-yaki and began chopping. Otosaki, overwhelmed by hunger, fell asleep without saying anything. As Rintaro cooked, Otosaki woke up to the smell and commented that he was good at cooking. After some time, Rintaro announced that it was done. Otosaki reacted with shock, asking what it was and saying it smelled wonderful. Rintaro replied that it was good and told her to eat up. Otosaki thanked him for the meal with her hands folded and took her first bite. After a few seconds, she exclaimed in excitement that it was delicious. Rintaro, without showing any expression, asked if that was really the case. Otosaki continued eating and declared that it was the best she had ever had, and that she was sure of it. Rintaro, still expressionless, acknowledged that and said it was good. As Otosaki enjoyed the taste, she thought that she might be overreacting a little, but she did not feel bad about it. She then asked for seconds. Rintaro reacted in shock, noting how quick that was, and served her more. Otosaki asked whether he always cooked for himself. Rintaro answered that he did and that he had made shoga-yaki many times. Otosaki asked why. Shidou-kun calmly explained that it was for saving money, as he needed to save for living expenses and for his future wife. While taking a bite, Otosaki questioned the mention of a wife. Shidou-kun, with glowing eyes and crossed arms, enthusiastically explained that his goal was to become a house husband and to cook tasty and healthy food for his hard-working wife. Otosaki was surprised by the answer and said that it was great. Shidou-kun reacted with confusion, asking if she was serious. Otosaki confirmed that she really thought so and said that his dreams were on a different level than those of an idol. Shidou-kun denied that interpretation and looked at the meal. Otosaki said she understood. Shidou-kun admitted that he had thought she would make fun of him and that he had not expected a compliment. Suddenly, a voice came from the television announcing a milestone. Otosaki appeared in the news, giving an interview in which the interviewer asked how the new song was. Otosaki responded that she had been nervous. Watching the interview, Otosaki remarked that it was out. Shidou-kun commented that she was seriously looking at herself and asked how she felt. Then Shidou-kun asked Otosaki whether it was fun being an idol. Looking down, Otosaki answered that it was fun and explained that it had been her dream since she was little, that she had worked hard and gotten lucky, and that now she was working even harder to hold on to the opportunities she had seized. With confidence, she stated that no matter what a person's dream was, anyone who worked hard to achieve it was an amazing person, and that she wanted to support those people. Shidou-kun looked at her proudly and said that he thought he might have become her fan for the first time that day. Otosaki glared at him and asked whether he had not been a fan before. Shidou-kun admitted that he had not really been interested in her and said that he guessed he would have to give it a try. Otosaki stared at him and said that she was a fan of his too. Holding an empty cup, she added that she wanted to eat there again. Shidou-kun reacted in shock and said that she could not. Otosaki, also shocked, asked why not. Shidou-kun became tense and questioned what she meant. With realization, he asked whether she was thinking of staying there. Otosaki said nothing and only stared downward. Shidou-kun reacted in shock. He then shouted that if a top idol was seen with a guy, there would be a big controversy and reminded her that she was not a normal high school student. Otosaki acknowledged that this was true and said that she could not say she was surprised, adding that if that happened, she would be the one to ruin his reputation. A newspaper headline appeared asking about the identity of the man with bad eyes that the most popular idol was hanging out with after school. Shidou-kun stated that he could not take responsibility for that. Otosaki, downhearted, said that it was okay and that she would bear with it. Shidou-kun asked why she was depressed and then seriously stated that he was trying to be blunt and told her to just do it. For the sake of both of them, he said they should do their best to stay away from each other outside of school. Suddenly, Shidou-kun added that it was getting late and that she should go home early, offering to walk her home because it was dangerous. Otosaki reacted gloomily. Shidou-kun responded in frustration, questioning her reaction. With realization, he asked whether she was thinking of staying there. Otosaki remained silent, staring downward, and Shidou-kun reacted in shock.